What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. We are here live on Vet Talks this morning. We wanted to do a little bit earlier, but just because, with all the COVID stuff going on and everything like that, we wanted to make sure we brought you a live show, especially today with our awesome guests that we have coming on. If this is the first time you're joining us, Vet Talks is a communicative platform to give veterans the opportunity to just show the amazing things that they're doing, whether it's in business or philanthropy or anything of that sort. Too many times we are just, under this umbrella of negativity. And so Vet Talks is changing that narrative to better just give a grasp of what veterans are doing on a daily basis. I'm getting ready to coin the term Coronas with Casey because, now that we're, with this whole coronavirus issue, there's too many times that we're just having to do this out of our home. But the thing is we're able to extend that olive branch out a little bit more and touch more people around the country. Today's guest is a good friend of mine, a Project RELO alumni. He is a Navy veteran, so I won't hold that against him. But he's also the CEO and founder and the owner of Veteran Engagement Solutions, and we're going to get more into that. But I want to introduce to you my good friend Angel Torres. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Casey, what's up, buddy?
Wait a second. Are we dressed the same right now? What's going on here?
You should have called me. You should have called me and told me what you're wearing. Are you wearing the pumps? Are you wearing the heels too? Or are you wearing flats?
Okay, see, this is why we wanted to have the Navy jokes out of here because he's already talking about he's wearing heels over there. How's it going, my friend?
No, it's great. No, mine has
Hey,
the company logo on it, so it's a little bit different than your shirt.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure that we get that out there and see if people want to start repping that brand. But no, this is an exciting show for me. I know it is for you as well, Angel. The big thing is this is kind of an announcement as well because Project RELO and Veteran Engagement Solutions, we have developed a partnership where companies that come on Project RELO missions, when they want to extend, continue that mission forward, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be working with Veteran Engagement Solutions in order to build their veteran hiring practices and everything of that sort. It's that force multiplier type thing, but we're going to get more into that as well. And I'm just super proud to be able to partner with Angel. But the thing is we're going to get into it. We want to know about Angel. Tell us a little bit about who Angel is, what you've done, because I mean, you've had a very illustrious career, and it's all about service for you. So just tell us a little bit about who Angel is, and then we'll get into Veteran Engagement Solutions.
Okay. Well, thanks, Casey. And I'm from Chicago originally, and I think as a practical joke, the Navy sent me here's my last tour because they wanted to remind me what the cold weather was like. Other than that, they sent me to warm climates: Hawaii, San Diego, Virginia Beach, Atlanta, just all these warm places. And on the way out, they went, "Haha, here's cold." remember what that was like? I started as an enlisted guy chasing submarines around, and I think I developed narcolepsy because every time they put the headphones on me to listen to submarines, I fell asleep. I started doing touch and goes. And then I worked on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier, fueling airplanes. And that was really hard work, because you run underneath an aircraft, which is still on. And you want to stay low because otherwise your eyebrows don't grow back so fast. Then after I was done with that, they said, "Oh, dude, you have night blindness. You can't work the flight deck at night." So my pay was always jacked up. So I decided that I was going to be a payroll guy, a personnel HR person. And that was great for me because my entire career was all about service and customer service. And I just kind of embraced the whole treat people the way I would want my family to be treated. And that went really well. I went through the enlisted ranks, senior chief E8, and then I converted over to the dark side as a chief warrant officer. And got to see, trying to make policy and do big picture things. And that was great. And I finished up here in Chicago. And at the Joint Military Postal Activity, we controlled all the military mail for the entire Department of Defense, which was pretty fantastic. And just some amazing soldiers and sailors and Marines and airmen. And it was just really a great tour to see how everybody kind of worked together in the different services. Of course, there was a lot of butt busting and ribbing and stuff, especially during the Army-Navy game. I remember the year before the Army won, when the Navy won, and I remember it was 2016. 2016, I think, was the last year that the Navy won before that the Army started kicking their butt regularly. and I had all my soldiers and National Guard and Army reservists line up, and they were all at attention, and I'm like this.
See, but it's funny that you bring up the reference butt busting, and you were a Navy veteran. So that's where it's kind of funny how you just bring up you're wearing high heels, you're butt busting. Come on, and I mean, now you want to bring football into this?
Hey, I don't ask and I don't tell.
So you had a great career.
Actually, I was as an EEO and HR guy. I did do I did the implementation during the military of females into combat roles, as well as repeal it, don't ask, don't tell. And that's part of what my company does with the whole change management, equal opportunity, diversity. Now, a lot of the things I did in the military transfer over in a very big way into what I do in corporate and adding value to corporations, which is just fantastic to have. Because when someone asks you, well, can you tell me about a time? You go, yeah, let me tell you.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, just in that little bit of time, is you told us that, you know, all the different things you did, where you're fueling aircraft, you know, chasing submarines, or then you're working in payroll. It's like you joined for a specific career, but the thing is a lot of people have this notion that, you know, when you join the military, you do that one job your entire career. Well, that's completely, you know, not right, because the thing is we wear multiple hats. You may have one job, but the thing is you have responsibility for additional duties and different jobs. One of the things that what I love that you said was how it translates into corporate America, and how you were able to build this platform for your company based off of the experience that you had in the military. Can you tell us a little bit about what Veteran Engagement Solutions is, and just how you came up with the idea of it?
Yeah, it was actually part of my transition story, Casey, if I can dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, please do.
About 2 years before I decided I was going to leave the military, I said, okay, I need to get an education. I mean, I already had a grad degree, but I needed to go back to school because I have very soft hands and a bad back, and I can't be digging ditches too well. So I figured I should get an education, and I started expanding my network in the city of Chicago and looking for jobs and looking for new careers. And what I ran into repeatedly is not only was I making mistakes, but companies weren't ready to receive me. And I said, okay, as an HR professional, I can address the individual, you know, resume writing and career and stuff like that to make a difference and keep supporting my brothers and sisters. Or I can work from an HR standpoint, use those talents and those skills to reshape culture, reshape expectations, teach and empower companies, and teach them how to fish, essentially, for the best talent in the veteran space. So that kind of was the seed for Veteran Engagement Solutions. And I walked through the whole process. Okay, where are companies having these challenges? And these challenges are recruiting the right people. What most companies don't have the slightest idea where to go and get a military veteran. They'll say, I need a cybersecurity person. No idea where to go. We teach them how to do that. They don't know how to ask the right questions. They don't know how to understand and decipher a resume, the leadership skill sets. And they have all these preconceived notions of what veterans are. Everybody's got PTSD. You know, everybody's got PTSD. And they don't even think. And when I tell them, hey, do you know that the PTSD numbers are almost exactly the same as the civilian population? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. Post-traumatic stress is
post-traumatic
problem.
It's not a veteran problem. It's a human problem.
It is a human condition. It's a human condition. And so that was recruiting was one part. Onboarding was a lot of banks and flat organizations struggle with the onboarding process. You know, how to take someone from welcome to our company to this is what's expected to here's how you can be successful, and following up and making sure they're doing well. Just the onboarding process, which is standard operating procedure for the military. You have a battle buddy in a lot of cases. You have a sponsor, whatever you call it, and they walk you through and they tell you what's expected. That doesn't happen in a lot of flat organizations. They're very siloed. They're just shut up and do your job, that kind of thing. And it's building that. Then the other last piece was building the resource groups to help the veterans collaborate in the companies that they work in so that they can help grow the business. And the greatest thing about that is that in a lot of corporations that I'm noticing is you're in business development, you're in IT, you're in logistics. Okay, don't talk to anybody else outside this. But what happens when you get people that are in the veteran space, you're not worried about, it's not this finance guy or this logistics or this business development guy. It's, hey, that's Joe, that's Mike, that's Pete. He's a turkey. He was in the Army. We love him anyway. All these other things. And it's that bonding and, hey, Pete, I'm really struggling with my boss and I'm really looking for a lateral conversion. Here's what I'd like to do. Can you walk me through how to do that? Can you mentor me? Can you groom me? And then you'll have a senior leader who reaches down and grabs them and brings them up because they have that common bond. And it helps businesses break through these silos in a very powerful way.
Right. And what I love about that is you're not, because you had said you could have taken it where you're, helping your brothers and sisters at the low level with the, the very transactional thing of like resumes and interviewing and everything like that. But that's not scalable because there's just so many veterans out there. There's upwards of 200 to 250,000 that are getting out every single year. But the thing is, and that's what makes our partnership between Project RELO and Veteran Engagement Solutions so powerful. It's, these corporate leaders are coming on these missions that we host, and then what it does is it changes their mindset. It changes their behavior of wanting to hire more veterans. But then they get back and they're going, I want to hire more veterans, but I don't know how to do it. So that's where Angel comes in, and he's actually going to help these companies build their veteran hiring practices, their veteran engagement programs. That way, it's just a seamless process. We're working at the top of these companies because that's a very saturated market of veteran organizations that are taking care of the resumes, the interviewing. We can work together.
They're all great. Yeah.
No, but the thing is we all do one job to take care of veterans. Angel and I were up here working at the top of the food chain, if you want, and then we're actually bringing all of the veterans to these companies and helping them get across that finish line. Can you talk to us about a couple of? Yeah.
Oh no, perfect. You're absolutely right. And what I loved about Project RELO and what with the partnership is that it's almost if you go to buy, perfect example, you go to buy a car, right? The best car in the world. You are so excited. You've been educated, like a BMW, right? They go and they walk you through and they show you all the bells.
I was going to say Ferrari, like we saw a couple months ago.
Oh, Ferraris were great too. Yeah, their customer service is out of this world. But they wouldn't let me go over like 35 miles an hour. I was very disappointed. But because they knew the Puerto Rican was driving.
Exactly.
But it's like the partnership is like you guys have them and you turn the light bulb on and they're enlightened and they're ready to go and they're motivated and all the right reasons. And then it's the now what. Yep. So they go back and then they have the now what. And then Veteran Engagement Solutions is able to come in and say, okay, now we're able to execute and help you deliver on your vision and your mission and all the things you learned over at Project RELO. Let's go ahead and put those into practice right here, right now, and make your business more successful. And it's a real deliverable.
Yeah, and then with our other partnership that we have with Heroes Linked and also with Forward Block, they're the ones that are bringing the trained veterans to us that have already had their corporate training. They've already had the resumes. They bring the veterans, and we triangulate it, and then Angel trains the company. I'm influencing the change on the top, and all of a sudden we come together, and if you think about it, we're taking care of this veteran unemployment, this rate that has been at a historic low because it's been under 2% in the last year. Obviously, the last couple of months it kind of crept up a little bit with the COVID. Talk to me about a couple companies that you've been working with and just like some of the deliverables and results that you have, because you're going to be working, you put a bid in for a large company that is doing COVID testing. And I want to know a little bit about that stuff. So that way they don't see that, because a lot of times when they hear veteran, they think small, but this isn't small for us. This is a large scale operation for us.
I think security guard. We're gonna do security services. Yeah. Let me back this up just a second. In establishing my company, Project RELO was crucial. All the resources and all the relationships I built at the RELO event and retreat, I couldn't have built this business without that, because from Carter Davis, who did my video for my my website, Scott Hardesty with Tactical Web Design did my whole website and knew me, and we're all great friends. Let's see, Jim Vesalopoulos, he's been walking me through how to set up a business and how to market, bringing clients in and saying, hey, this is Angel, you probably need to talk to this guy. And I think the greatest thing about RELO is, I know we got the kumbaya at the end of the day, but I still remember, like, dude, this is about family. And reaching out to another RELO alum isn't about looking for a hand up and saying, hey man, go hire me. It's about show me how I can be successful. And they're like, yeah, we're in it with you. So everything, and as I go forward, everything I do, I bring everybody around with me. Scott Hardesty's on my team to do this. Right now we're putting in a bid for a city contract. It's a very large 2-year COVID tracing contract. We're bringing in another contractor to help us deliver on that and put the bid in. And we're registering as a veteran-owned business, service-disabled veteran business, and it's all moving forward. A couple of companies that RELO have exposed me to were in manufacturing, banking, and these are doors that are open to me and things that we've been able to deliver on that were just fantastic.
You know, and that's a beautiful thing. And I mean, I see your little bandana there over your shoulder. So that's great that you got that subliminal partnership. See that right there in the corner? See, I love it. You knew that you were coming on the show, so you wanted to make sure you had some RELO. Now, is that your face mask when you go grocery shopping and all that?
It is. It is. And when I'm hitting the ATM machines, I roll up like this on the ATM machines.
You know what's funny is that, you know, let's just say a year ago, if you walked into a grocery store with a mask on, you were going to be arrested right away. Now you might be arrested for not walking in with a mask on. It's just a crazy world that we live in. But one of the things that you said is beautiful. You know, the whole word, and everybody asks me all the time, what does RELO mean? Well, in the Urban Dictionary, RELO means family. And you just said it. It's, you know, in building your company, how the family came together, you know, where it's with marketing or with its business design or business proposals or, you know, or with the website. Every piece of it has come from somebody that you experienced, you know, Project RELO with. And that is just the most powerful thing, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make companies move faster by doing something that's also considered a social good with hiring veterans. So one of the things that I know that you do with your company is you help companies with helping develop the Medallion Program with the Department of Labor. Can you give a little bit of insight on that? Because a lot of people don't understand what that Medallion program is. And I would love for you to explain it to our audience and how they can get each of those things and how you can help.
Sure. Well, the Medallion Program is the only federally accredited program that awards companies for being veteran, actually doing and walking the talk in veteran employment. There's a lot of companies that wave the flag and they say, you know, we're veteran friendly and we support our troops. And their answer to that is to write a check. And that's okay too. Absolutely. But it's not as impactful as actually changing your culture and doing the right thing. So the Medallion Program came out through the Department of Labor. Every year they assess companies on 7 to 8 different criteria. How many veterans did you hire? Do you have veteran onboarding initiatives? Do you try and retain veterans? Are you taking care of them if they're reservists and they have to go away and go do their drill time? Do you have a senior sponsor in your company that represents and takes care of those veterans and helps you develop your veteran programs? All these things that are very, very pointed areas. And what I do is a lot of the companies that I've been running into and working with, they are doing it. They are all doing the right things, but they don't know how to capture it correctly. So what
they're not reporting it right.
Yeah, they're not reporting it, or they're not articulating it, or they haven't even thought about it. You know, they might hire people, and often, and this is more often the case than not, veterans are not declaring themselves as veterans on their applications. And why is that? That's because they're afraid of being stigmatized, pigeonholed, or someone looking like thinking there's some kind of he's got low leadership skill set. Dropping him 20 or post-traumatic stress, and he's a liability. They're afraid.
And a lot of that. And I'll tell you, a lot of that because that article that came out in 2017 on LinkedIn, where it says 44% of veterans leave their first job within the first year, and 66% leave their first job within the first 2 years. So that statistic alone stigmatizes veterans because they're like, okay, they're disloyal. My response to that is like, no, that might not be a veteran problem. What if that's a company's culture problem? Because the thing is veterans are not disloyal because they've served 5, 15, 20, 30 plus years for an organization where they're potentially giving their lives for it. So how are you going to say that they're disloyal when all they want to do is they want to serve for a firm that they're serving a higher purpose or that they feel like they belong to? So I don't believe it's a veteran problem. I think it's truly a culture problem.
I couldn't agree with you more. And here's what it looks like. And I see this often is, and this just happened with one of the companies I'm working with now. Veteran comes in, and HR manager, hiring manager says, "What do you want to do?" "I don't know. What do you want me to do?" "I'll be great at it. Don't worry, I'll be great at it." And they mean it, and they will. The challenge is the work. They can acclimate to the work and they can learn to do the work, but they can't acclimate to a culture that is not consistent with teamwork, team building, excellence, leadership, accountability, and all these things. And when they don't feel fulfilled, it starts to go south. When someone doesn't say, these are what the expectations are, this is how you can be successful, this is where I see you in 3 years, which is normal for our culture. I mean, think about it. Last time you had a job, Casey, in the military, you were thinking about how to put your boss out of a job. I want to work him out of a job. That is instilled in us, right? How do I advance and grow and develop myself by putting him out of a job? Well, you go to certain corporate cultures, that's not so good.
Yeah.
That's actually
you need to become a threat, and you're not going to get the job because you become a threat.
Right. So having that veteran resource group, having that dialogue in a company and that culture really does a long way to keep the veterans in those companies. So what I talk about is what we do adds value, not just because it's flag waving and not because it's a good work and attaboy. It's reducing attrition. Think about how much you spend recruiting people. Think about how much you spend training that person, and think about what it costs to have to do it all over again. Now, if you put these initiatives in place and you're able to keep that employee, and not only do you keep them, but people find out that you have a great culture in your company, you're drawing the best talent to your company. That's what's happening.
And the beautiful thing is when you're drawing that good talent because of that culture, what happens? All your brothers and sisters that you served with that are still serving, that are getting ready to get out, they're going, "Hey, come work for my company because, hey, we have a phenomenal culture. You trust me." As soon as that person says, "Okay, if Casey trusts him or Angel trusts him, I'm going to trust that company as well." And all of a sudden you're going to have, 20-30% of your employee base being veterans, and you have built-in leadership. Yeah, and you have those built-in leaders that are going to be able to teach your leadership curriculum, because what better leaders are you getting than those that have been trained by the greatest military minds of our generation?
Yep, and it lends to succession planning. A lot of companies struggle with succession planning. Who's going to replace the manager when and right now with the baby boomers, we're at a unique point in addition to COVID and all the stuff that's going on in the culture. The baby boomers are going away. They're retiring. They're 63, 65, 66. There is a huge gap in the employment market that we're about to hit. Who's going to fill the roles? Who's going to be the company that's going to bring in the talent that's going to stay there and help with their succession planning? The companies that are better informed.
Exactly, because you have to bring in these transformational leaders that the military trains, because the thing is, you have to be able to transform your leadership style for certain type of generations. Baby boomers, they're very straight and focused. Veterans, they come in, hey, they know how they lead, the millennials. They know how to lead Generation X, Generation Y.
And back to the Medallion Program. The Medallion Program annually puts out a list of the companies that have been excellence and veteran hiring. That list goes to what's called Transition Assistance Programs, or TAP. Everybody in the military that's getting out has to go through TAP, and they want to know, well, who are the companies that are doing it right? Medallion, Department of Labor holds up that list, that these are the companies that are doing it right. So those are the companies that the military members are looking at, saying, they're getting it right, I want to go interview with that company. So that's free advertising for that company. It's less money they have to spend on recruiting and career fairs and all that stuff. Yep.
And the other thing is when it comes to, and I throw this in there on top of that, it's TAP actually gives these companies, they will actually give them a transition list of veterans that are going to be transitioning to their location. So like if, for instance, like Chicago, the transition assistance program at the Pentagon will actually help with that company's recruiting by providing recruiters that have gone through the transition assistance programs, their training. They will actually provide them with a list where they can recruit directly off of it.
Yep, we do one. We actually, BE Solutions, we actually do one better. That's awesome. We take the companies to the TAP. We have a client that's doing the Medallion Program right now, and the HR manager says, "How do I get a hold of this talent?" I said, "Get in a car." So we drive down to the transition assistants. They sit at a panel, and here's how it goes. The panel actually gives the HR manager a chance to explain the values of the company, the positions that they're looking for, and what it's like to work in a company and why they value military members. It costs them nothing to sit there and just tell them, and you wouldn't believe the military veterans that are swarming these HR managers going, yes, this is where I want to be. So that's what one resource we're able to provide.
There is no better, just Streamline. It's like if a company wants to hire veterans and they just don't know how to do it, they come on a Project RELO mission, all of a sudden now it's like, hey, now they understand what a veteran can do for their company.
Mm-hmm.
Now they move over to Angel. Angel can literally hand walk them to the transition assistance program, help build their program, and literally just we can get our other partners on board to bring the veterans to the company. It's not rocket science, it's just getting the right people in the right place. And that is what we're
being deliberate and intentional about everything. And that's something we do really well, Casey.
Clear, deliberate action. Yeah.
And I think when I made chief in the Navy, they had a big slogan that they drove into our heads pretty hard. Results, not excuses. Results, not excuses. I said, okay, am I doing something?
No
am I
excuses, just
converting?
results.
Am I delivering on what I promised? Or am I making excuses? And I don't want to be that guy. So let's go. Let's be intentional. Let's get things done.
Absolutely. So what's next for Angel?
Well, let's see. We just started doing sexual in the state of Illinois. You have to have sexual harassment and anti-discrimination training for every single company that operates in the state of Illinois. So I just got certified to do that training. So now that's going to be compliance is going to be a new service offering for VE Solutions as well. So we're expanding. We do HR consulting. We do the veteran primarily, and veteran employment, and we're also doing government contracting and compliance. So we're growing very, very quickly.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So how can they get in contact with you and learn more about Veteran Engagement Solutions?
Well, they can go to a Project RELO mission. That's the first thing they can do.
Good answer.
But also veteranengagement.com is the website, and we walk through the whole process, and it sends me an email, and they have all the contact information on veteran engagement. And what I do is I sit down and I come out to the company, and we sit down and look at what their goals are, and provide a very real time what we can accomplish and what they're hoping to accomplish plan. And I guess I'm kind of picky because I'm not a big fan of flag waving. I really want to work with companies that are intentional and authentic, and don't see this as a one and done kind of thing. I think this is a partnership. But I mean, in partnership, let me clarify what I mean by partnership. There are consulting firms that want to have a long-term kind of keep the consultant there the whole time, the whole dependency thing. I want to teach people how to fish. I'm going to teach you how to do it right. I'm going to come in, we're going to group your whole team, and then we're going to fall back and then, let you take care of yourself. I'm always going to be available, but I really want my goal and my measure of success is to watch them do it on their own.
And that's a beautiful thing, because when you can help them fish and actually help them do the right thing, and they're being successful on their own with something that you taught them to do, that's probably the most powerful thing. It's almost like teaching your kids how to ride a bike without training wheels. Once they do that, all of a sudden you're just like, it's almost like I have a success as a father because I taught my child how to ride a bike. It's the same thing. It's like you're teaching your child to go out and do something. We treat each of these businesses like they're our children. We want to make sure that they succeed because their success is a labor of our love. And I will tell you, is the partnership between Project RELO and VE Solutions. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and I could not be more proud to partner with, my brother right here, Angel, man. It's just an incredible thing. We're getting short on time, but I have to ask you one last question, man, and something I ask every single person.
White Sox, not the Cubs.
Well, you've just picked a fight with a lot of Project RELO alumni. I tell you that.
They don't know
the
baseball.
Question is you've served your country with distinction and honor, and the thing is, it would have been easy for you to hang your uniform up and just close that chapter of your life. But the thing that we know about veterans is that they continue to serve. We just want you to give our listeners an idea of why it is that you continue to serve.
I think it boils down to what brings me joy. when I was getting ready to get out of the military, my career coach said, asked me 3 questions. Who are you? What do you love? And what do you want to be when, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And what brings you joy? And seeing my brothers and sisters not struggle and not have the challenges and have someone that actually cares about them and seeing them succeed, it's the juice, man. It is absolutely the juice. I had a Navy chief who got out after 8 years, went and interviewed with a client, and they said, this guy's got out after 8 years. We don't really think he's any good. I said, this guy's got a qualification that takes you 20 years to get. I said, let me interview him. I went in there. I sat down with the HR manager, sat down with the Navy chief, who was a rock star, master training specialist. He was just a rock star. And this is what lends to why I do what I do. I looked at his resume. I said, how long have you been in a relationship with a woman that you're getting out of the military for? And the face, the smile on his face was so big. He's like, oh my God, somebody gets me. Somebody knows that I'm not a quitter or anything like that. I just want to be here for my family. And to see the HR manager go, I can't believe you figured it out. I was like, yeah. So to see that my brothers succeed, it's the juice, man.
I love that. And you know what? I wish nothing but huge success. And I mean, obviously between Project RELO and VE Solutions, but the thing is, you personally, man, you are just a kind-hearted soul. Obviously, we dress alike. If I would have shaved my head, you and I would look exactly alike with the gray beard and everything.
You put our bald heads together, you can make an ass.
Never a dull moment with Angel. So, amen. Thank you so much for taking the time out this morning to go live with us, because we usually record it and then post it. But thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to do a live show this morning. We're going to put all the contact information. If you want more information about VE Solutions, you can also go to our website, projectrelo.org, and go to the partnership or the partners link. And there are links right there to his website as well. And you know what? Just continued success, my friend. Stay safe, stay healthy. And you know what? Hey, this is Vet Talks. Again, we're communicative platforms to talk about all the. See, now he's got hair. But we just want to show the amazing things that veterans are doing. And Angel is definitely one of those amazing veterans that are out there just changing the narrative and moving the needle in business. So we just want to thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Casey McCune, and we're out.